So you want to become a top student. Not just a good student, I mean the top student. You want to be in that 1%. And this video is your no-nonsense guide to becoming just that. The most important thing for you to understand is that if you are going to be in that 1%, you need to be better than the other 99%. Or you need to be doing things that they are not currently doing in their studies. If you truly commit to being a better student, if you follow this guidance, and if you put in the hard work, there is no doubt in my mind that you can become the student that you always wanted to be. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start with a little anecdote. I make YouTube videos all of the time. I love giving you study tips and giving you advice on how to become a better student. However, I used to be a pretty bad student, if I'm being honest with you. I am currently studying economics at the London School of Economics. However, when I was at secondary school, when I was in year 9, 10, 11, I was a pretty horrible student. And anybody that taught me when I was at school, or anybody who was friends with me when I was at school would probably agree. They would certainly agree that I was a horrible student, and I will hold my hands up to say that. Why is this relevant? Why is this relevant to being in the top 1%? Why is this relevant to becoming a better student? Because I was in your shoes. I was not always locked in. I'm certainly not a genius. I really had no motivation to become a better student back when I was at secondary school, when I was in high school. But I locked in, and tip number 1 has to be getting clear on your goals. I realised about halfway through year 11 that I was on the wrong trajectory. Where was I going? If I got incredibly mediocre GCSE results or results at the end of high school, where was I going to end up? I wanted to be successful. I didn't have a clear career goal in mind. However, I knew that I wanted to achieve, I wanted success, and I didn't just want to meander my way through life. I was ambitious. I didn't just want to let life happen to me. So tip number 1 is getting clear on your goals, because that is how you achieve long-term sustained motivation. Without direction, motivation fails, because why are you doing this? You can have short-term motivation. You can see a cute video and think, oh yeah, I want to study like that. That looks so aesthetic. But when reality hits, when you realise that you're going to have to study when you're tired, when you don't feel like it, you're going to have to make sacrifices, what is going to keep you going? Discipline is what propels you forward. Motivation just gets your foot in the door. The neuroscience is pretty clear. We find that intrinsic motivation sustains motivation longer than extrinsic sources. So this is extrinsic validation. People forcing you to revise. Your teachers are saying revise, revise, revise. Parents, revise, revise, revise. The second that they leave, where's that motivation? You need to want to do this for yourself. Now, a couple of reasons. You want to make your teachers and parents proud. You want to make yourself proud. You want to prove to yourself that you can do this. You want to prove anybody who doubted you wrong. You want to work towards a specific career. And I know that this is a huge thing for so many different people. A lot of people know that they want to go and study medicine. A lot of people know that they want to go to a top university like Oxbridge, like LSE, or I mean, if you're not in the UK, maybe you want to go to the best university in your country. This is long-term motivation. You need to remind yourself of your goals. I never really had that, and if you don't, then that's okay. Just remember that becoming a better student will improve your chances. You will leave more doors open for yourself if you study as hard as possible. So you need to get clear on your goals. Write them down, create a vision board, go on Pinterest and make a vision board of your dream life. You know what, at the end of the day, maybe you just want to be rich. Maybe you want a high-paying job and you want to be rich. That's motivation enough for a lot of people, and that's very fair. You understand that money's not just going to fly your way. You're going to have to work for it. Vision boards, getting clear on your goals, and setting yourself short-term and long-term goals is how you stay motivated. I've not touched on the short-term goals bit yet. You need to understand that you can't just say, all right, okay, I'm in year 8 and I want to go study maths at Harvard. What about every step up until then? I want to do well in this end of topic test so that I can choose this GCSE that I want to do. I want to do well in my GCSE so that I can go to this sixth form and so that I can do these A-levels, and they will help me get into this university. Getting good grades will help me get into this program and this program that can help me work towards my long-term goals. Rule number 2, you need to understand that learning is meant to be hard. This is genuinely where the majority of students slip up. The second they find something difficult, they just give up. Learning is meant to be difficult. You are meant to push your brain. Your brain is like a muscle. You need to train it. You need to push it to its limits, and that is how you know you are learning. You want to be struggling with a maths problem. You want to be grappling with concepts and ideas, really wrestling with them, really critically thinking about a variety of things instead of just splurging down any information that you know. You want to really think about things. Practice those critical thinking skills. Practice your problem solving skills, because at the end of the day, this is what the exams at the end of your course will test. Exam boards know that students can rote memorize information and regurgitate it. The further that you get into your education, the more that you are going to rely on your critical thinking skills as opposed to rote memorization. And what I mean by that is quite simply just remembering a fact and regurgitating it. So the point here is that you kind of want to struggle. You want to try those practice problems that really push you. Struggling isn't a sign of failure. It's actually a signal that learning is happening. And if you have ever grappled with a concept and just about understood it at the end of your study session, gone to apply that knowledge and really solidified it, you will understand how good it feels to genuinely get your head around something. Remember, learning happens when your brain is pushed beyond its comfort zone. Try the hardest questions that you are avoiding. Go revise those subjects and topics that you are struggling with most, because that is how you're going to make the largest amount of progress. Scientifically, if you are just constantly practicing things you already know, you're just reinforcing that information. When you're pushing your brain, you are creating new neural connections in the brain, and that is when learning actually happens. The next thing that you need to understand if you are going to be a top 1% student, you need to understand that you need to make sacrifices. And I'm not saying, no, give up all of your friendships, give up all of your hobbies. No. You need to understand that you are going to have to do things that you don't want to do. Discipline is the most important part of being a good student. Oftentimes, it is not a motivation problem, it is a structure problem. Discipline is going to fail if you don't have structure. If you're constantly deciding every single day what you're going to do, when you are going to revise, you will experience this decision fatigue because you increase your cognitive load. Discipline includes building revision and studying into your daily routine, not just doing it when you feel motivated. Do you really think I wake up every day and I want to revise? Absolutely not. Do you think I wake up every day and I want to make videos? Absolutely not. However, I know I have these long-term goals, so I do it anyway. Remind yourself of your long-term goals and build discipline into your daily routine. Also understand that you are actually going to have to give up on things. Some people will say, oh, you can have it all, you can do this, you can do that. You cannot go partying 6 days a week and be the valedictorian in your class, in your degree. It's just not how it happens. You're going to have to revise. You are going to have to say no to some events when you have a test. You may need to give up training for your sport as frequently as you currently are doing. I used to be a county level badminton player, and when I was sitting my GCSEs, I had to give up training 5 times a week. I still played, and I played for leisure. However, I was not playing competitively in that time because I wanted to get good grades in my exams. You are going to have to say, no, I can't come on Xbox tonight because I need to revise for my biology test tomorrow. That is what I mean about saying no, building discipline and doing things that you don't want to do to work towards your end goals. Like I said, discipline is what propels you forwards. Motivation gets your foot in the door, but at the end of the day, you need that motivation to kickstart your learning journey. You need discipline to keep it moving forwards. And I just want to touch on structure a little bit. You need to build revision into your daily routine to reduce decision fatigue. Decision fatigue comes when you wake up every day and you have no structure. So you have to decide every single day, what am I doing, when am I doing it, and how long am I going to do it? And that takes mental capacity. That increases your cognitive load. You don't want to be making decisions like that every day. You want to have automatic processes that you can follow regardless. You want to just go to school via the same mode of transport every day at 8 a.m, sit in your spot in the library and do your work. Then you can focus your mental energy on your work itself. And the key, discipline becomes a lot easier when you have this routine and this structure in place. Do you wake up every single morning thinking, oh, I might not go to school today. Oh, I can't be bothered to go to school today. No, because you have to do it, because that is your routine and that is your structure, and also you get disciplined if you don't do it. And that is the point. You don't want to wake up every day with no idea what you're going to do. You want to create habits. You want to have this habit of working, of revising, and actually taking your studies into your own hands. Don't wait for somebody to tell you to revise for your maths test. Don't wait for your teacher to give you some problem sheets and some worksheets. Go find these yourself. Take matters into your own hands, because that is what makes a top student. You wouldn't have watched until this point in the video if you weren't motivated, if you didn't want to get better grades. And at the end of the day, you are not going to be told exactly what to do to pass your exams. You are not going to be told exactly what you need to work on. You need to figure that out for yourself. Luckily for you, you are more than capable of doing that, because I know that you are motivated, you're disciplined, you're intelligent, and you will become that top student that you have always wanted to be. If you like this video and you do want to see more daily study tips, FYI, I post my top study tips and tricks every single day. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave any comments that you have, leave any questions that you have in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.